Okay, just a recap video on the Delahiva X position. So we'll shoot 3 in total. This one will be from the far side sleeve grip. We had 13 techniques just to kind of keep in your head if you quickly want to go through them. So again, from Delahiva, I have far side sleeve, near side ankle. We were looking to get into this dip and shove position, so I pushed on the leg, physically sat up, and then from this position I dipped and shoved. My goal was to get Tyrone's left knee to the mat, and we got to this position here. Okay, from this position we can swim the leg inside if he doesn't make a reaction, and now from there I'm just going to do this elevator sweep. So I pick up, put it straight down. More than likely we're going to end up in half guard, so I win the underhook, okay, and then win the cross face and flatten it out. So again, just on this side, bro. So technique 1 was just our basic control from this position. So again, I'll be looking to keep this hand in the in my pocket. I want that ankle control, because if I'm not controlling this hand, basically Tyrone wants to make a grip and stuff my leg, and then he's in the headquarters. So keeping this in my pocket is a big detail. Also the pinching of my knee to the inside, the way I don't want Tyrone's knee facing me, so I'm pinching in. This is technique 1. Then I grab that ankle and I kind of pull on it a little bit. So we'll go straight into the second technique, which is the dip and shove, and then it's based on what Tyrone's reaction is. So from there I make the transition to sit-up guard, and I dip and shove. I physically get his right leg off the mat, and if he drops to his knee, I'm going straight into the elevator sweep. So I just swing this foot on the inside, launch him, continue the movement, win the underhook, win the cross face, and we're into half guard top. So that's techniques 1 and 2. Technique 3 was his reaction based on that movement. So from our position, again pushing this leg out, I sit up in the sit-up guard, I dip and shove. If Tyrone doesn't make any reaction, we look at the end of the recap video, if this knee doesn't go to the mat, but let's just say he has put the knee to the mat. Okay. His reaction, if I'm going for the elevator sweep, is to drive his right foot back to the mat, and as he does, I bridge using my right foot as a platform on his leg to come onto my left shoulder, and I thread in my Delahiva X position. And now when we play Delahiva X, we don't play it with our back flat on the mat. I physically set up the position here. And this is our third technique, which is locking in Delahiva X. Let's just get another angle on that one, bro. So, from Delahiva, we'll have far side sleeve grip. Okay. I push, I sit up, I dip and shove. If I get that knee to the mat, that's good. Tyrone's reaction is to drive to put his foot back down, and as he does, I thread in Delahiva X, and I lock into this position. My back is off the mat. The detail is I lock my legs out straight. Already you can feel Tyrone's base going. Well, you can't, I can. So that's our third technique, locking in Delahiva X. Then we went into the main sweep from this grip, which was the tilt sweep. This is our fourth technique. So from that cross-side sleeve grip, I push, I dip and shove. We get his knee to the mat. Tyrone drives to get his foot back down again, and now I lock in Delahiva X. Keep this grip. I'm just tilting him onto this left side. So once I bring him down to here, okay, from this position, I'm going to make sure that I hip in close. I'm going to windshield wiper my right foot out. I win the underhook. My hand that had the sleeve grabs the tricep. I bring myself towards him, and now from there I build the base from my right hip to my right knee. Cut cross pass, and then we're into the side control. Let's get another angle on that. So that will be your go-to move, just your basic tilt sweep from Delahiva X. So again, from that far side sleeve grip, Delahiva, I push this up, I dip and shove, Tyrone drops back, I lock in Delahiva X, I physically sit up from here, and now from there I pull on the sleeve, straighten my legs, that heel grips everything, and I just drop him straight on my left side, or his left side. Again, from there, I'm coming in close, I windshield wiper my foot out, the hand that had the heel wins the underhook, and I switch from the sleeve till the tricep. As I come up, I build the base from my hip to my knee, cut cross pass. His knees are pointing towards me, so I'll walk my hip back, then solidify, side control. And that is our fourth technique from De La Riva X. Now we're going to look at reactions off that. So one thing Tyrone can do from that position is, as I dip and shelve, he drops the combat base, I lock in De La Riva X. As I go for the sweep, he can post his right hand on the mat. Once he does that, we have options to get on the back. So our fifth technique is the back technique. From that position, I switch from the heel grip to the end of the pants. As I take out my left deep De La Riva hook, I drag his leg so his right knee comes past my right hip. I find the far hip, and now from this position I can butt scoot back, lock harness control, and I'm on the back. The detail is getting the knee back, so I have the profile to put my hook in. So let's look at that again. So from De La Riva with that far side grip, I push the sit-up guard, I dip and shelve. He puts his foot back on the mat, drives in, that gives me the entrance into De La Riva X. And when I go for the tilt sweep, he's posting on his right hand. So rather than trying to muscle the movement, that grip switches from the heel to the pants. And now I drag this. Another thing Tyrone could be doing from there is posturing. Take it back a step. So that hand that had the sleeve will find the collar. And now from that position I can really keep him down from there. As I take out my left De La Riva hook, I push this so his knees pass my hip. I'm pulling now, I find this, I hip out, and now I'm on the back. So that's our fifth technique. Another thing he can do from this position is from here, when I dip and shelve, he drops the combat base, puts his foot back in the mat, I lock in De La Riva X, I have that heel grip. Instead of him posting with his right hand, as I sweep him on the side, he drops onto his elbow. So the hand that had the heel finds that, right? And now I just drag it, so he falls onto the shoulder to here, okay? Once I have that position, it's the same crack before. I pass the grip to my elbow, windshield wiper the foot, underhook, build the base from my hip to my knee, cut cross pass. I think in the vid we stepped over and went for that armbar as well. Doesn't help when your Uki's injured. So let's look at that again. On the coach. So from here, I sit up, I dip and shelve. His reaction is to drive his foot back. I lock in De La Riva X. When I sit up and go for the tilt sweep, he posts with his elbow. Okay. Once I'm there, hand, let's go. I just find this, pull it under and drop it down. The detail is I've still the De La Riva X locked in. Okay, and I have the tricep grip, not the sleeve grip, so I want to stay tight. So from there I'm winning that underhook. I windshield wiper my right foot out. I build the base from my hip to my knee. As I cut cross, I step over the head. See the way I have still two hands? And now from there I'm sitting up and I'm straight into my arm lock. So that is our sixth technique of De La Riva X. Another reaction Tyrone can do is from this far side sleeve grip. I sit up, he dip and shelve, he drags back into me, puts his foot on the mat, I lock in De La Riva X. Another thing he can do is maybe he breaks this grip and sits back onto his hip and posts his hand behind him. Yeah, just put it there, perfect. I fall that way, same way as well. Same side he's posting. When he posts on his right hand and he's kind of going towards his right side, I'm falling to my left side. So I lost the grip. I just open up the lapel, pass it from my right to my left, and then I push on the knee to take the slack out of it and make a grip. Now from there I'm taking out my De La Riva X, kicking this leg forward and driving Tyrone coming up. Just scoop this lever up. I think we added on a triangle from
So as I come up, I'm getting an open elbow. So I get his right elbow away. And now from this position, I can pass the lapel from my right hand to my left hand. Nice new snazzy gi there, so it's nice and long. Had it been a wee short one, I would have been in trouble from there. So now, see the way my left hip has got an open elbow on his right arm. Now I build the base to my knee, step over, and now from there, I have the triangle. Let's get another angle on that, bro. So, from our position, from De La Riva, far side sleeve grip, sit up guard, dip and shelve, he gets his foot back, I lock in De La Riva X, I sit up, he breaks that grip. His goal now is to sit back, put this hand on the mat, and he wants to remove my hooks, you know. He'll be pushing down here to do all that stuff. That's okay, no problem. I just find his lapel, pass it from my right hand to my left hand. And now I start to take the slack out of the gi and pass it back to my right hand. I'm building a base from my shoulder to my elbow, take out my left De La Riva hook in, kick this one forward, and as I come up, perfect. As I come forward, I'm killing that right arm, so it's an open elbow. If I lose it, obviously I'm just into side control. Let's just say we'll keep it. You just pass that lapel over from my right hand to my left hand. I have him like a ball now. So as he's fighting to break that grip, now I can just step over, sit on my hip, left hand finds my right shin. I want to make sure that I fill the space at the back of my right knee. As I come forward, put my head on the mat, gonna lock on my triangle, sit up, we're into the mounted triangle. That's our 7th technique. So that's really all the reactions from the actual tilt sweep. Those last on the back, the sitting back using the lapel and the elbow drag are all just reactions of what he's doing from the tilt sweep. Let's go back to, let's just say I couldn't go for the tilt sweep. So back to the first technique. We had that far side sleeve, De La Riva hook in. I pushed to physically sit up. Maybe I tried to dip and shove and he's really forcing his foot to the mat and I can't actually get his hands on the mat. We make the transition to this twist sweep. Okay, so again, the battle always is in this position, me passing the lapel from my right hand to my left hand. Because sometimes in that process, he'll posture and break the grip. So the detail was, as I come up to dip and shove, I just push this between his legs and grab my own wrist. The other thing is, when I take out my De La Riva hook out, I'm tight with my heel in. So as he tries to break that grip, it's very difficult. And now from that position, I just switch, it's just a pass over. Once I have that, I make that grip there. I'm just pushing on the knee, taking Tyrone over, and we're straight into our cradle pass. So we get the head control, let go of the sleeve, replace my left knee with a right knee, win the underhook, right hand replaces right knee, head goes in the mat, and I move to the other side. So here on that side, we also talked about the detail of when I'm here from this position and I physically push and sit up and make that grip. Sometimes when I'm there, Tyrone wants to drive that knee back into me here. So sometimes it's like butt scoop, and as he drives that knee into me, I already have him over. So his knee's not actually driving into my chest, it's kind of going past me a little bit. And again from there I'll be pulling on the shoulder, putting him straight down. Once I have that sleeve, just come there, bro. I find the head, let go of the sleeve, so we get hand to hand, put weight and pressure on him. Left knee gets really supported with my right. I win the underhook. Right hand replaces right knee. Head goes in the mat. I jump to this side. Okay. That's our twist sweep. Sometimes just call it ball and chain. Let's look at 2 kind of reactions based off that failed sweep. So this is technique 9. So from here, sometimes when we sit up, we push this through. I'm about to go for the ball and chain sweep, and maybe Tyrone's posturing, or another reaction is when I go for the ball and chain, he posts with his right hand on the mat, and I just physically can't sweep him to my right. So that foot that was on the knee, I post my hand on the mat, and I just come around to here. And now from this position, as I come up, I'm going to find this, put him straight down, and again by sheer luck, we are into the cradle pass. 1, 2, look at the underhook, head comes in, and we're in. Let's look at that again. I can also use this if he postures, he doesn't have to put his hand on the mat. Let's look at that scenario as well. So say we're here, I went up, I tried to dip in shaft, couldn't, stuffed this in, got to this position, switched to the grip, and maybe I didn't get this collar time and now he's posturing. So that foot just basically comes to there. I can find this, put him straight down. And again, see the way he fell to the other side, no problem. This time, we're going to hit the cradle on the other side. So much of jiu-jitsu is action, reaction. Don't worry too much about the passes. So that was the single leg. Sometimes you just don't get the energy for that. Maybe his legs are bent. Sometimes it's hard to single leg people if they're kind of squatting down a little bit. So an option to take the back from there. So this is 10. So from here, I push. I get into that whole scenario there. Again, I did get the switch off grip, found that, and from there as I went for the twist sweep, ball and chain sweep, Tyrone's going to post with his right hand on the mat. See the way his legs are bent, straighten your legs, bro. It's easy for the single leg with his legs straight. Straighten your legs, actually yes, that's easy for me to get. But if he's kind of crouched down a little bit, sometimes it's difficult to hit that single leg. So the main thing is I want to keep his right hand on the mat. So that hand switches to this collar and I'm just pulling to keep my dead weight on him. And now from there, I just bring my leg through and I physically sit up to this position here and I'm putting all my weight on Tyrone. Now I just step in and get in my first hook. My grips stay the same, I just back step with my left leg, take him down, right hook's in, and I'm on the back. Sometimes if he's on his knees, that's fine. Sometimes he's just crouched over. Let's look at that scenario. You're on this side, bro. It just depends on what they give you. So we're here, I have that far side sleeve grip. I push to sit up, working my ball and chain, do the switch off, make the grips. Then again, when I go for this twist sweep, he's posting with that hand. Sometimes I'll switch the collar and really make him put weight on that. It's just all about me coming up from this position. But I want to make sure that I keep the grips. If I'm struggling to keep up, I can lean to my right and physically put a lot of weight on Tyrone from that position. They physically come up and I put my sternum over his back. These grips are magic. Back of the collar and the hand is stuck between his legs. So now I work on getting that first hook in. Once I have that hook in, I just back step with my leg. Right hook's in, one knee on the hook. And I'm on the back. Good. So that's 10. Let's work on 11. So we're now going back to what we kind of did at the start. If you go back to the elevator sweep, which we looked at. So from here, this is our modified X-guard sweep. So we're in our position, we're going to push on the knee. We go up the dip on shaft this time, okay? And from there, once I go for that, and Tyrone will be posting with his free hand. We looked at how Tyrone, when he drove his right foot to the mat, he dropped a combat base. And that was the perfect time to lock in De La Riva X. This time, when he drops the car, sorry, just let me dip himself again, bro, and fall over. We're there. He's on his foot and he stays on his feet. Now, as he drives his right foot to the mat, he stays standing. And as he drives it in, I just switch, don't fall over, stay up. As he goes for it, let's just take that again. So we were here, okay. As he drives that right foot to the mat, I just find that leg. And now stay up, stay on your feet. I switched to modified X guard. Now I didn't go all the way to X guard. I just turned from my right side to my left side. Because now from there, I'm just going to keep taking Tyrone over. And we ended up in this position here. And again from there, I can come into my passes from that position. Let's look at that again. Let's just get another same side angle. We didn't get a good reaction on that. So, from our position, I push on the knee, I physically sit up, I dip and shelf. This time I couldn't get Tyrone's knee to the mat. And as he's driving his right foot in, I just turn onto my side and we end up here. He's basing with his hand. So he didn't go to X guard, it's just a modified X guard. All I'm really doing is scissor sweeping this to get him onto his knee. Now I'm coming up, and now I can get into split passes there if I choose to. Bringing this over, finding the head, windshield wiper, and we're in. Let's just get another angle on that one, bro. So this is our modified X guard sweep. You need to build your game about just different reactions. So when I am in De La Riva with the far side sleeve grip, I make the transition to sit up guard, I dip and shelf. I physically couldn't get his far knee to the mat, and as he's driving this knee, I just let go of the sleeve, turn from my right hip to my left hip, and I end up in this kind of X guardy position. Obviously this is X guard, but I don't need to go there. I can just take him over from this position. So all I'm really doing is scissoring to get him down from this position. Another thing I can do from there is I can make him put his hands on the mat. So it's just like a scissoring action like this to get Tyrone to put his hands on the mat. And now I can physically do technical stand-up and I end up here. So now from there, it'll be just about me getting this foot in, finding it, putting him straight down. That's one option. Or, let's get another angle on that. Same position again, it's good. So, from there, we push the sit up, we dip and shelf, he keeps that foot on the mat, I switch to this side, getting him into modified X guard. So I push to get his hands on the mat, post my right hand on the mat, come up, again he's on his foot, perfect, and I can't get that, see the way he's hopping, I can just drag him back this way until I get the foot in. Another option is, this is good if Tyrone's more at this angle. If he goes belly to down towards the mat, another option we looked at was finding this, dropping in, taking the back from there. I think all those options are on the vid for that technique. This is just a recap vid. So that's our modified X guard sweep. Let's look at another option. This is the express sweep. So let's just say taking it back to the elevator sweep, we couldn't get his knee to the mat. This is just a better option that doesn't require a lot of energy. So from our De La Riva guard, I push to sit up, I dip and shelf. So the way I've got Tyrone's leg off the mat and I'm pushing now. The whole elevator sweep was based on me trying to get Tyrone's knee to the mat. Let's just say he keeps standing. You can still get the elevator sweep. That's still not an option. I can physically get this hook in. The problem is, because Tyrone's right knee is so bent, it's very difficult for me to actually get my hook in. Let's just say I did, and we're there. Even though he's still on his foot, I can still take him over. That's not an option. But you see how difficult it was to get the butterfly hook in? Let's take it back a step. So this is where the express sweep comes in. I just kind of go into an X guard variation. So from here, I physically come up, I dip and shelf. So the way Tyrone's right knee is kind of pointing down. Hard for me to get in the butterfly hook sweep. So this hand that had the ankle just comes around and grabs my shin. Okay, like so. And now from this position, I'm going to physically lift up my left leg, bring it to the inside, and lift up my left arm as if I'm asking a question in school. And now from that position, I'm going straight into X guard sweep. Okay. Now from there, because I'm a little bit further out, okay, I can bring my knee inside, wing the underhook. An option from this position is, once I come up into knee on belly, we have this step over armbar, okay, which is easily defended. That really then goes into the baseball bat choke, which is on the vid again. Let's just look at that one again, bro. So from De La Riva, with that far side sleeve grip, okay, so you're going to push to sit up, a dip and shelf, at your own basis, but I didn't get as far knee to the mat. And sometimes it's difficult to get in the elevator sweep because the knee's so bent. So that hand just comes through and grabs my own shin. Okay, and now from this position, I'm going to bring my left foot to the inside and raise my hand as if I'm asking a question in school to get Tyrone's leg on my shoulder. Once I'm there, this is just a variation of the tilt sweep. From that position, stay on your feet if you can, bro. Perfect. Woohoo! As I take him over, I cut cross, knee on the inside. He's a little bit further away from me this time. So as I come up into a knee on belly position and I'm pulling up on this, Tyrone's going to pull his left elbow to the mat to defend that. The second he does, my right hand comes into the collar, thumb inside. Second one comes in. As I go for the baseball, he's going to defend with his left hand, and that's when my right knee fills that space and I move around his head for the baseball. But I just get one more angle on that one because that's on the wrong side. You're back to this side, bro. So from here, this is technique 12. So from this position, I push on the knee, I dip and shelf. I didn't get the far leg to the mat, so the way his knees pointing down. Hard to get the elevator sweep, which is the second technique. So this hand that was grabbing the heel just comes around and actually grabs my own shin. I'm going to bring this foot to the inside, and now from there I raise my hand as if I'm asking a question in school, and my goal is to get Tyrone's right leg onto my shoulder. That's all I want there. I can pull that knee up, so we're into like an X-guard variation, and now it's just a variation of the tilt sweep. I just take that away from under him as I'm coming up. I'm on the inside, I come up into a knee on belly position. I want the arm bar. He pulls the elbow back, thumb inside, second hand comes in, 4 fingers inside. He knows jiu-jitsu, he's splitting the baseball with the right arm, but he's forgetting I have a left shin, which smears that through. And then I walk. That's our express sweep, which is our 12th technique. And then the last was the tomanagi into the back take, which was the last technique in this first part recap. So let's look at that. So up until now, we've threaded De La Riva X from combat base. I can also do it from when he's standing. So from this position, I pushed to sit up. I tried to dip and shelf, couldn't get his hand on the mat. Maybe I'm trying to work the whole twist sweep ball and seeing nothing's really happening from that position. So all I'm going to do from there is use this foot, turn back on me. So from sit up guard, I actually fall back on my left shoulder and physically lock in De La Riva X. The detail remember we talked about was I don't play a flat on my back. I sit up, then I let go of the sleeve and grab the belt of the pants, lock my legs out straight and just do a tomanagi, which is overhead sweep. But Tyrone has 2 free hands. He's going to post them to stop himself getting face smashed. So from there, all his weight's on his hands. All I want is access to his right hip. So I'm going to take out my right hook. As I do this, Tyrone falls straight onto my hip. I already have the hook in. I want the underhook. We're on the back. Let's look at that again. You're on this side, bro. So this is the only technique off this far side sleeve grip where we've looked at locking De La Riva X on a standing opponent. So we're here,
playing De La Hiva. Maybe even from this position, I can just lock it in without actually making the transition to sit up guard, trying to go for the dip and shaft or all the other techniques. I'm just here and I lock it physically into there. Sit up, grab the pants, pull him forward to get that reaction of his hands on the mat. And now it's all about getting the profile where my right hook is. So I'm just gonna extend, take my right hook out, that's the detail. As I kick him back, he just falls like magic into the right position. Better just do with your back to the camera on that one so you can see what I'm doing with my feet. So last technique, Tomanagi, field Tomanagi to the back. So from De La Hiva on a standing opponent, we're just going to thread in De La Hiva X, sit up, grab the belt, pull him forward, take out my right hook, win that underhook, and on the back. So that's just a recap video, part 1 on the De La Hiva X guard system.